Organic farming has been one of the areas people look out for before they purchase their farm produce. But it has been considered as one of the difficult areas people have to follow before they grow their crops. Today, we are going to engage an expert who has been in this field for quite some time now. He uses what we consider as waste to produce organic food in his home. You do not have a problem if you want to go into urban agriculture because these things are easily available in your areas, and that's exactly the conversation we are going to have today with Victus Sabutey. He's going to take us through how he's been doing this over the years, and maybe you could also learn a thing or two and start something on your own. So you're invited to Society 360, and I hope you would be able to take us through all the processes about organic farming and why Ghanaians need to embrace it, especially for urban agriculture.
Thank you, and welcome to my home, and for that matter, our home-based farm.
Thank you.
Sack farming, to call it. Yeah.
Okay. Before we even started this conversation, I was asking you about why the need for organic farming, and then some of the things you told me, I was quite blown away. Are you able to take us through the basic things you use for the organic pesticide, fertilizer, before you even go into the main processes of even making it in the house?
So amazingly, maybe just to put it this way, most of the fertilizers, the pesticides, and all those things you see around, majority of them comes from the same plants and weeds around us.
Wow.
Yeah, so if we have that same mentality, that's why we have our traditional medicine, to call them, and they are also very effective working and all those things. So from that same conception, I usually focus on the very things that are with us.
Okay.
They are very good for consumption as well as for controlling with pests and diseases and all those things that are with us as well. But very much importantly, we will go around and I'll show you some of them.
Okay.
I don't just approach the weeds from the house anyhow.
Okay.
And if I approach them too, there is a use for it. So what I have here, which I've been using over the time before I even left it and travel.
Okay.
Someone may see it and say, what is this? Yeah, it's just basically the weeds that I have in my house.
Okay.
That I harvest or I uproot
Can
them.
I touch it?
Yeah, for free. They are harmless. You will never know that these are weeds that are turning to this.
Yeah, they're so soft.
Very soft. Right. So basically what I do is that if I take the weeds from the house, I just dump them into this.
Okay.
And cover it up. Sometimes I just sprinkle a little water on it, and at least if I have quite size in here, I'm able to just sprinkle a little water on it and cover it up. It automatically decays over time, and the liquid that it produces is more than a pesticide, it's more than a fertilizer, it's more than anything that you can talk about. Wow. And it's the same thing that I use to spray my plant, and the same thing that I apply to my plant as one of the fertilizers, or natural fertilizers to call it, or to kill white flies, name them, that usually attacks our plants, so my plants and all that. So, and even the remains of this, I use it again as a natural manure and apply it to my plants. Okay. Yes. And the plants feed on this and give you what you need.
Okay. Yeah. So do you after weeding the grass or the weeds around, do you dump them here fresh, or they dry before you bring them here?
Fresh.
Okay.
I dump everything straight from uprooting straight into this, dumping it here. Others, what they also do, which is also very effective, is some of them drill a little hole under their container, and then whatever water or liquid that will leach out, they harvest that, and it's the same thing they use and apply to their plants. But sometimes too, you have to dilute it. And that is also for another conversation. We can discuss how that is done, how you can dilute it so that it will not burn your plant, because it's very potent. Sometimes the concentration is very high, and that is why nothing can survive in it. You see, even when I open it, you can't see any
I was expecting to see
web or
maggot,
maggot. You will find anything in there. And these are all just our plants and all those things dumped in here.
Okay, so does it mean that the crops you grow here, after harvesting them, I know some crops you need to only harvest it once, then you need to replant.
Right.
Does it mean that after harvesting them, you don't also throw the weeds away? I mean, you process them into something like this?
Right. So some of them, if the leaves are fresh, I turn them into this.
Okay.
If it is more than I can use, I turn them into a compost.
Okay.
Though I don't cover it, but I'll take you there and I'll show you. And that I also use in my sacks. I apply them. They become a manure for the plants thereafter. But the very fresh leaves, once it's not dry, can be turned into.
And how long does it take to turn into this? Because this thing doesn't look like fresh leaves at all.
So I have this container down. I've just been dumping and everything. Sometimes within 2 weeks or even less, depending on the conditions prevailing, it should be ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know this urban agriculture you're doing in your house, it's a business venture for you. But are you able to tell me, you said when you are applying it to your plants, you should be careful so it doesn't burn it.
Yes.
What do you need to do so that you don't go killing your plants?
So let me give an example. So if, for example, I take the liquid out of this and I want to apply it to my plants, and if it is the very first time, what I do is you just apply it on one leaf, but not direct from here. Okay. So I have the spraying can that I measure, let's say about 20 milliliters into the spraying can, and then I apply a volume of water, sometimes about up to 16 liters of water, mix it with it, and then just apply it on one leaf, let's say in the morning. Okay. And I usually prefer doing that in the morning because the sun is definitely going to rise. Sure. And you can observe the reaction of it. Because once I've not standardized it yet, but I know the quantity that I use, it's most importantly to test it on the plant, just a leaf, to see the reaction. If there is no reaction, especially during the day where the scorching sun is also, very high, then you have a higher chance of, you using it on the whole plant. Okay. So I prefer spraying in the evening because that is the time that most of our, pests and diseases are active and working. Okay, so and then preferably under the leaves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's also another conversation.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So what kind of plants can this be used for?
Any vegetable. Any vegetable at all. Okay. And even some of the fruit-bearing trees I have in the house, I also use it on them. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying it on a pawpaw tree right now, which I'll show you. Okay. One is a bit diseased, and when I saw it, I started doing that, and you see the result. Okay. Yeah. Somebody watching this interview might learn a thing or two, and then even may want to start on his or her own. Right. Do you train people on how to do these things? People interested in urban agriculture, or even wherever they find themselves, do you train them on how to turn, like what we see as waste, weeds, like leaves, into this? Do you train them? Yes, so I do that form of training across board. Some intentionally organized, others the demand is so overwhelming that I don't even get time to attend to everybody. So I do train people, but basically it is not difficult. Okay. It's not a difficult thing at all. To do. Let me cite an example. You have a weed in the house. Just uproot them. If you need a fertilizer like this, just uproot them, dump them into an airtight container, sprinkle a little water on it to keep it a little moist, and then just cover it tightly, so that there can be enough heat in there
to ferment it
proper.
Okay.
And it will automatically produce all that you need in there.
Okay.
So that is basically about that. And if you want to apply, you just as discussed.
Okay, so talking about the pawpaw that was struck by a disease, and then you started using it.
Yes.
Can we move to?
Yeah, we can move to that
place.
Yeah, we can move to that.
Okay.
Let's find our way down there. You can just cross up your leg a little. So there are two of them. I'm trying it on this. So if you can see this one, it's a bit diseased now. So I've applied it once.
Okay.
Initially, it was all over. But I applied it and see the result. It's improving.
Is it a whitish thing that was all over?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
And it's improving.
Amazing.
And then also, at the initial stage, you realize that all the early fruits were just falling off from this particular one.
Okay.
But after that, I think it's now beginning to reflower. And I've not seen the other one dropping at all. I'll show you the other one, which is here. This one was actually dropping all the fruits.
Oh.
Yeah, just dropping all the fruits. And after applying, everything is stable now.
What could be the reason?
I just don't know. What I believe in strongly is the potency of my organically produced.
Preventing the fruit from falling.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I've not really researched into I've not investigated what is causing that at the moment.
Okay.
So, but it has really worked. None of them are falling now. I've seen a lot of new this thing coming out, fruits coming there now. And that is a good sign that it's really going to work.
So how long has it been since you started applying it on the pawpaw?
Oh, less than a month.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yes, less than a month. It's been working perfectly. Yeah.
Okay, so I think we can move to the next. You said you also use it for compost.
Yes, so if you come a bit closer here, you'll see this is a water leaf. Okay. After harvesting most of the leaves that we use for soup and all those things, I dump everything here. Okay. Even I'll show you, this is also a kitchen waste.
Okay. This is buma, right?
Yes, this is buma.
The one we use for okra.
I tell you.
Yeah.
So the leftover, we don't throw it away.
Okay.
I put it here. If you look at this, this is a decaying now.
Orange.
So why put it in the dustbin? It's very useful. Yeah. So
wow,
all
this
that,
is amazing.
yeah, and all the other stuffs that be it from the tomatoes, be it from pepper and all those things. Once they are not diseased, I dump them here. Over time, they decay, and then I just turn it over. Okay. And it becomes the best manure you can use. Wow. Yes.
So does it mean I should start rethinking how I've been throwing my yam peels, potato peels, and everything away?
Don't throw your yam peel away at all.
I should not throw them away.
At all. Even this one that I have here, the plantain and all those things, very soon I'll prune the leaves off and just drop them here. And they become another set of manure. Wow. Yes. So comparatively, if you use, I know you don't do the chemical farming, you do purely organic here. But I'm sure you should have a knowledge about the duration or how well the chemicalized ones do and how good yours is. Are you able to strike a balance for us or tell us the difference between the inorganic and the organic? So basically, when we're talking about using the fertilizers and all those things, some are able to boost the plant to grow very quick. Like, you know, when we were young, they say, oh, the baby has been given lactogen. And then, lactogen plants. Lactogen plant, the babies and all those things. You are worrying the plants because up to a certain stage, the plant cannot hold it any longer. But if you give the organic one to the plant, it grows naturally, but they all produce at the same time. Be it organic, be it the fertilizer one. But the fertilizer one, what happens, and with all due respect to those who are producing fertilizers and the likes, we are more concerned about what enters our body at the end of the day, and how most of our farmers are also applying that. I always use the analogy of buying tomatoes from some high tomatoes producing areas. By the time you move the tomatoes from that area to Accra, it's all spoiled. Why? Because people have over applied the fertilizers and the rest. But I produce tomatoes from here and others, and I can transport them from here to those same areas and back, but the shelf life is still okay. They are still firm, they are still okay. Meanwhile, it's fully ripe. So using the chemicals, using the fertilizers is expensive. Compared to going organic in a way.
Especially if you want to just feed yourself at home.
Feeding yourself at home, you might not know, but I'm telling you, you have all that you need to make it work here in your house. So if you take this, for example, this is a kale that I nest here, just that I've not had time to transplant it. And I didn't spend so much money on this. This is something I should have thrown away somehow, but I'm putting it into good use.
Of course.
Of course. And what the medium I've used to nest it, I fetch it from the compost under there, which I'm using, which I used to nest this, and it's been here. I don't even have time to. I just nest it for nesting sake, but I've transplanted some of them, and I have to give the rest out to people and the like. So you have all that you need to feed. Let me even show you this. This particular one. The floor here is very hard. Very hard. By the way, this is my farm tool anyway. Now, this okra is quite sizable. But if I tell you that I've not used any chemical on this, I think it's the children who said they learning how to farm in my absence. So they came to drop some of the seeds here and just be watering it. But see, at the end of the day, it looks good. They've been harvesting it. The lady's finger. They've been harvesting it, and it's solid.
So these were grown by your children?
Yeah,
it means you involve them in the process?
All the time.
Wow.
I have videos on them. They've grown it and they've been enjoying it. They've had series of harvests. Their mother will bring them, show them how to harvest it. And they've been harvesting at least, let me see if I can count on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 harvests so far. And there is still one. There's another one. It keeps producing for them. I
can imagine how excited your children will be knowing that they've grown something. Excited. And they are seeing the results.
I tell you. And this is also from them. And they pick it from one of their... Just take it and smell it.
Smells good. Mint.
Yes. This is...
Wow.
Guess which one is it?
It smells so nice.
Yeah, just
squeeze
it. Yeah, just squeeze it and smell.
Wow.
I tell you.
All grown using, I'll call it rotten leaf.
Yeah, rotten leaf.
It is pesticide and fertilizer.
I want to show you, why I come closer is I want to show you something around here. You can see the works of some, should I say, worms and all those things under. It is because of this that they've applied to it. And why I don't have much in there is that because they know it's in there, they went to fetch and dump in here. And they are loving it because everything is okay here.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, they keep enjoying what they are also producing. It's by way of teaching them. Now, why that is important, and I'm so happy with that, is this one. In urban cities, Accra as an example, children only learn about plants in books. But if you bring them around to show you what this is in real life, they will not be able.
No, of course.
But by allowing them to do this, they are extremely happy to produce this, and they learn naturally, and that is also very important. So these ones, they just did it by themselves and left it. And they also planted some of these ones later on.
That must be sweet potato,
it's a
right?
sweet potato.
Oh,
it's
okay.
a purple one.
Purple one.
Not very common.
Yeah, it's not common.
Yes, beautifully, and it produces very quick and fast. Less than 3 months or within 3 months.
It would be ready for harvest.
It should be ready for harvest.
Okay.
Yes, and they enjoy that.
So talking about the power of this pesticide and fertilizer at the same time, you said this turkey berry plant was dying off.
Yes.
And then you decided to start using it on it. Absolutely.
So it's a turkey berry loved by my wife. She planted it. And the interesting thing is that in my absence, it's worms started enjoying it so much, this one and this one.
Okay.
So immediately I came back, we just applied the same thing you are holding on it. And as you can see, you can testify by yourself, new leaves coming. You can't see any worm or anything hiding at the back, anywhere, or either on it or at the back, anywhere. So it started picking up beautifully. So that's the power of the organic fertilizer. You don't have to go out and buy it, and it's readily available, homemade, solid, applied, and it works perfectly. So this is a perfect example.
Of course. Yeah. And I'm sure even if you are in your home and you don't have weeds around, in your neighborhood, you can get them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anything, any weed, there is no specific weed you should think about.
Okay.
Any weed is a weed. Once the seeds are not in there that much, even if the seeds are in there, they will automatically die off at the end of the day. Once it's fresh, I prefer the fresh one, but not the dry ones like this. These ones, I turn them into compost. But the very fresh ones like this are very good to prepare the fertilizer.
Okay, that's great.
Thank you.
I love turkey berries.
Yeah, in fact, we love turkey berries.
Yeah, we love turkey berries. They give your soup and stews tastiness.
Super. Yeah.
Okay, so bringing our conversation to a close.
Yeah.
What would be your message to, everybody in the city?
Yes. So
even if not the city, about using these basic things that we consider as waste, throw them away. Meanwhile, you are making something valuable from it. Yeah.
So we are crying that fertilizer is expensive and all those things are expensive. We are crying that we don't have food to eat. Vegetables are expensive as well. The handling aspect of that is also expensive, and the rest.
Yeah.
We also have a lot of flowers in the house that we use Ghana water to water them, and at the end they give us, how will I say, some of these debris and the rest, and then we call our garbage collectors to come around to throw them away. Please don't throw them away. These are very important things that you can turn into something very useful to produce what goes into your own system for healthy sake. The little money you have, don't use it to, in quote, buy disease for yourself, but keep it. The very things that you throw away, turn them into something very useful, productive for your own benefit. And it's not difficult.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And before we wrap up, are you okay to put your number out there in case somebody wants to reach out to you to find out about these things, or even invite you for training or something?
Oh yeah, I'm very, very available to do that, either virtually or in person. And those are the numbers displayed on the screen. So anybody can reach me, or maybe reach out to
me.
her.
And I'll link you. I'll be the mediator.
Absolutely. So just reach out to her, and she will bring you to the source. Right.
Okay. So viewers, that's it for the conversation on turning weeds in your home. Don't throw them away. Turn them into something like this. This is not mud. This is weed. It is compost. It's used for compost, fertilizer, and pesticide. Because urban agriculture has come to stay. So take advantage. Thank you very much for watching this edition. Kindly subscribe to my channel and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Society 360 2022. It's a bye from us.